Are you feeling uncomfortable yet? That dead silence, dead air, just looking at you. Okay, so anyway, good morning, people. This is Friday, also known as Fry-yay to many people. September 13th, Friday the 13th, 2024. And my second oldest granddaughter's birthday, Ozzy. Ozzy is 2, 3. I would say 2. Ozzy is 2 today. Happy birthday, Ozzy. So let's make sure we do that before I forget and get busy. Busy out there today. Bonk. I will be on podcast soon. Interesting. Okay, so here we are, Department of Career Services. I am trying to multitask because it's my second granddaughter's birthday. There we go. Happy. What? Get hair on. Hair on. Okay, happy birthday, Ozzy. Okay, cool. That's the start. That's not the finish. Good morning, Mr. Bojangles. Good morning, Mr. Bojangles. The day after, the morning after. So we can talk about that later. But back to where we started. Today is Friday, the 13th of September, 2024. My name is Edward Bevilacqua. This is Department of Career Services, where our goal is to help our students and interested people on their journey through this life. Life is a journey to a destination. It is not the whole thing. It's not it in itself. We're not living in La Vida Loca. And the good news for people that are suffering, life is not just you're born, stuff happens, you suffer and die. That's not what it is. There's pretty compelling evidence that we have a transcendent soul, that we continue after death. And that's a thing you get to choose to believe or not. So good morning, Maticus Von Atticus. Glad to see that you are back today. You were missed yesterday. And I received a text from Sophie saying she would be getting on the podcast soon. Let's see if anybody else can make it early in the morning on a Friday. Friday, people. So our theme of today is what? What is the meaning of your life? What? Yeah, that's a Viktor Frankl type of thing. Man's search for meaning. We'll talk a little bit more about that soon. Don't want to spend a lot of time talking about our disclaimer, disclosure, description, and other D words, but this is not designed for people who are saved or successful. Because if you are either or both of those things, you've already got it figured out. This is for the people who don't have it figured out, but care. They're not just going for the ride. They want to be self-directed, in control to some extent, whatever extent possible, at least headed in the right place, second star to the right, halfway on till morning type of things. Good morning, Watabevi, the third triumvirate has arrived. So that is cool. Good. Anybody have anything they want to report? As I am going to open the worksheet which is linked down below. It's on our website, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. Many places to get the the worksheet. So, advice from an 80-year-old. Make it a habit. Ding, ding, ding. Habit. Bling, bling, bling. To do nice things for people who will never find out. Yeah. Do nice things for people who will never find out. Just your little secret. So it's like, anyway, that's what it's like. Okay, Seth Godin. What is his thing today? Seth Godin. Banana equivalents. Bananas are slightly radioactive. The banana equivalent dose, BED, is a measurement of radiation. It's definitive. It's definitely not enough to hurt you. Okay? So that's the standard of measurement. When we think about risk, the bed is a useful way to find perspective. Is the exposure this new thing will cause on the order of a banana? Meaning there's not much risk. Definitely not enough to hurt you. If so, perhaps we shouldn't worry about it so much. A chest x-ray might be like eating 100 bananas. It gives us the scale we can work with. Driving a car is far more dangerous than being on an airplane. The Honda Civic dose might be a helpful way to think about the risk of a crash. And far more people are injured or killed in collisions with deer and moose compared to sharks. The moose equivalent dose for exposure to wild animals might be worth considering. Finally, and most salient, the chances that you will experience significant long-term damage from wearing the wrong color shoes to fourth grade or by asking a dumb question after a presentation are lower than being injured by a pumpkin. And just imagining the pumpkin equivalent dose makes it hard to take ourselves too seriously. Right. So what does that mean? Well, the last paragraph, the odds, the probability of being damaged by a pumpkin are extremely low. Like nobody would think they're ever going to get injured by a pumpkin. And the long-term damage from wearing the wrong color shoes to fourth grade or asking a dumb question is even lower than that. So don't take yourself too seriously. Don't think that anybody really cares about you other than just idle gossip, and that's not really a big deal. Okay, boom, back. We're back. Okay, we did advice from an 80-year-old. We did Seth Godin. So the purpose of Seth Godin is to try to get some perspective on the things we think are important. Radioactivity in a banana is low, and so if you compare other things that could be radioactive to a banana, you get some idea. So like he's saying, a chest x-ray might have the equivalent radiation of 100 bananas. Still extreme, unimportantly low. Any chatter out there? Everybody's kind of quiet today. Okay, so today, Friday, I have a 9 o'clock at the Roadhouse, 10:30 with Eric over at New Hope. Noon, we have a Zoom meeting for the wraparound, and we have to provide lunch for people who are going. Meeting at noon. Is that a question, Mr. Bojangles, or what is that, meeting at noon? So the wraparound people have a meeting at noon at Honeysuckle. We're providing lunch, and it's a Zoom call. It is a Zoom call. Okay. Again, I'm not sure what you're saying. No. No what? No remembering. Okay, I guess we're going to have to communicate more directly because meeting at 12, no remembering. It's hard for me to think and speak and then kind of figure out what you're referring to when you have these really short answers. That's one of the challenges of these YouTube live things when you're looking at the chat. Okay, I was remembering what today's agenda is. Okay, cool. So we have that at noon. People are supposed to RSVP if they're going to be there for lunch. I expect, besides us, Frank will be there. TJ might be there. Yesterday, Jessica said she might be there with some people from her office. So we might have to wing it, meaning wait till about noon, see who's there, dash off to the store or call Subway, something really fast to get what we need for lunch for the people. Maybe have some chips or carrots and celery there. But anyway, that's a different subject. We're 11 minutes in. It's Friday. Today's TED Talk is Viktor Frankl, Pursuit of Happiness. Who is Viktor Frankl and why should we care? Well, in our big transcendent thing of life, I think Viktor Frankl got almost all the way there. He got it almost right. In that he said the motivation for people is to figure out what is the meaning of life. And he almost got there because Viktor Frankl was not a Christian, he was a Jew. So he was limited by Judaism. The Messiah had not yet come. And I don't think he was really a practicing Jew. I think he might have been more of a cultural Jew. So Viktor Frankl basically said, we've got it wrong when we ask the question, what is the meaning of life? That's not the right way to formulate the question, not what is the meaning of life. The right way to formulate the question is to say that life asks you, what is the meaning of your life? What is the meaning of your life? And then he goes on to talk more about that. But if we start from that question, what is the meaning of your life? If you say la vida loca, that means there's not really much meaning, right? You're just pursuit of happiness, pursuit of pleasure. The evidence seems to be that we have a transcendent soul. And why is that? Because of these things now called real experiences after death, what used to be called near-death experiences. Now there's a new category called real experiences after death, and that's when the body is clinically dead and is brought back to life. Because you see, technology is getting so good that science is able to bring people back to life when they were dead. Okay, really dead. Not like you're in an operating room and your life needs to be sustained because you can no longer stay alive on your own. Or there's a brief period of time where everything stops. This is like no heartbeat, no respiration, fixed dilation, no gag reflex, no brain activity for minutes. And then people come back or brought back, just maybe they do, but they come back to life. The heart starts beating, start breathing, oxygenating the blood starts flowing once again through the brain, and minimal or no brain damage. And the interesting thing is people report things happening during that period of time when there's no neural activity. So by definition, if you have no neural activity, you shouldn't say, here's what just happened. Nothing happened during that period. So and then doing experiments like with decapitated pigs to restart the brain, figuring out a way to do it, kind of shows very clearly neurons are hardier than we believed. The neurons can last the damages from recirculation of blood, or the restarting the circulation of blood causes damage to the neurons, can cause damage to the neurons. It's not that the neurons aren't hardy. So it appears there appears to be a growing amount of credible evidence that we have a transcendent soul, that something happens after death, and that kind of makes sense in the whole big cosmic thing. So Viktor Frankl does a great job of talking about finding meaning, and today's video is an animation about the pursuit of happiness. And the point is, happiness cannot be pursued. It's not a thing that's out there that you can get. It must be cultivated. And the idea is, if you can't be happy on a bus, you're not going to be happy in a Ferrari. If you find a way to be happy in a bus, then you can be happy in a Ferrari. So time is racing. We're about 16 minutes in. How is everyone doing? Wadabevi, how's your day look? Are you still there? Over. Maticus, Von Atticus, how are you feeling? How are things at Star? Everything quiet? Mr. Bojangles? Okay, well, Wadabevi is blessed. Work than school. Yeah, so Wadabevi's got 2 jobs. She's going to school. Massage school. Ooh. The thought of, ugh. More power to you, Wadabevi. Glad you like it. Quiet and peaceful. Better, but still not good. Okay. All right, people. I've got to get on the peloton. And glad you are there once again, holding up the fort. We're here for each other. As Mother Teresa said, we need to remember that we belong to each other. Right. Okay. Absolutely. Okay. Super. Kind of nothing overwhelming. Usually that's what happens on these podcasts. Remember, it's about the repetition. It's about the showing up. It's about unconscious behavior and creating a thing to try to do better every day. Realizing some days you just can't do it. Got to have a reset. So perhaps today was that reset day. But thankful everyone is here. I want to acknowledge that. And I have a very full day, as hopefully you do as well. If you don't, think back to Viktor Frankl. Life asks you the question, what is the meaning of your life? And you're the person who gets to choose. You're responsible for it. Not some external being. You're not a automaton. Okay, and cut. And cut. Bonk.